Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life, something every one of us deserves, an inspired life. And I'm so happy you're watching and so happy you're listening today. I have a really great show planned, as usual, and I'm excited to share it with you. But first, before I get to it, I do want to talk about my show last week, because last week was a special show for me. It was my 50th show, and I had asked people who were listening and watching to contact me through my Facebook page, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden, and tell me what their superpower is, what they're good at, what they do, what power they have that positively affects the world. And I had quite a few people contact me, and I do want to tell you who won the free things I was giving away last week. So we have Denise from Michigan won a free reading, and we already have that set up, and she's very excited about that, and I'm looking forward to talking with her. And then Lois from North Carolina won a copy of my CD and card deck, and she's also very excited. It's wonderful to be excited about things that are happening in our lives. So that was a really fun time, and I do want to thank you for participating in my fun last week. Now, 2 weeks from now, I will have the president of Lilydale Assembly joining us on my show, and she is going to come on and tell us about Lilydale and what you can expect there. Lilydale is the largest spiritualist community in the world. People come from all over the world. Thousands of people come every year to visit Lilydale. During the summer season, there are workshops, there are special guests, psychics, mediums, healers. The Tibetan monks are coming this year. So many things happen there during the summer. And off season, there are things that happen there as well. So we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks. In case you're interested in ever visiting Lilydale, which is a wonderful place. It's so peaceful. As soon as you walk through the gate, you just feel so much better. It's amazing. So we will talk about that. If you have anything in particular you want to know about Lilydale, you could send me a message at my website, psychicmediumcolleen.com, or on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden, and I'll be sure to ask her those questions when she's here. So you do want to tune in for that. In case you don't know who I am a medium, a registered medium at Lilydale Assembly. So I talk to our loved ones on the other side. I'm also a spiritual life coach. And as a life coach, I help people take steps to create the life they love, the life that they dream of, that inspired life that makes us eager to get up in the morning and live like we should. And it's a wonderful thing to do, and it's my passion to help people live their best lives. Today, what we do every week is I give a coaching tip, and then I take a caller or two. And today's coaching tip is on what's your story? What is the story you tell yourself about your life? Do you tell yourself that nothing ever works out for you? That your life is difficult? That things are too hard? That what could go wrong will go wrong? No one likes me. I have horrible relationships. Or do you tell yourself the story about, my life is perfect. Things always work out for me. I always get a great parking spot. My relationships are getting better every time I have one. Things always work. Those kinds of ideas. The list of things we tell ourselves can go on and on and on. We can be positive. We can be negative. Our words have a power. They have the power to create our lives. And if we tell ourselves a negative story, that's what we're creating. If you think you will never have, you never will have. If you think it won't work out, it won't work out. And that's just the way it is. When I first became aware of the power of my words, it was something that just really came to me. I was astounded to actually become aware of and consciously listen to the words I said. Some of these words were just words in my head, but when they come out of your mouth, they're even stronger. But I noticed when I was thinking about this and really paying attention that sometimes the things I said were not very positive. They were negative. They were complaining about this or that. They were talking about my life situations or what was going on in my life. And just to pay attention to that, because we all speak out of habit, and it's just easier to go that way. But when I started paying attention, I realized what I was saying and doing and how unaware I was. So because of that, one day I decided I was not going to say anything negative at all. Nothing negative was going to come out of my mouth. I might have it in my head, but I was going to stop it and it wasn't going to come out of my mouth. So this was great. I went to work and I was a high school orchestra teacher. So I would have rehearsals with the high school kids and we would play songs. And as I was rehearsing this day, on the day I chose not to say anything negative, I noticed that I had become so ingrained as to tell them what was wrong and how to make it better. So if they missed a note, I would say, well, you missed this note, move your fingers here, you can play it this way better. Or it's not loud enough here, you need to do this to play louder, or whatever it was. I was so focused on what needed improvement that I had been ignoring what was good. Now, I'm sure I told them things that were good. You know, I'm not heartless or anything like that. So I know I told them things were good. But when I was teaching, and if I was pressured because we had a concert coming soon or something, I would just go as fast as I could, telling them what was wrong and try to fix it. But since this was a no negativity day, I decided that that included that I wasn't going to tell them what was wrong with their playing. So here I am, taking what I had been doing and recognizing I need to change it. And I'm going to change it right now in front of these students. So this was a little bit difficult. I was used to telling them what to do because it saved time. And now I'm not going to do that, but I still have to make improvements. So how am I going to do it? It was very interesting because it was difficult for me to switch. It's such a habit, and it was really the easy way out. So it was kind of fun to see what I did because I would have them play. And as they're playing, instead of stopping them right away when something was wrong, I had them keep going mostly because I had to think of something positive to say. So I would find something positive. And so I would go back and say, okay, we're going to go back to this section. That was really good. I really liked how you played this. I liked your style. I liked your notes, whatever it was. And I'd be very specific about what I liked. And then I would say, okay, now we're going to go to this other section and let's play that and see how it goes. But I never told them why we were playing the other section. I didn't tell them what needed to be improved or anything like that. But because I had given them positive specifics in the first section, eventually they started to figure out that it was probably a similar situation in the other section. And as I got going, it was really interesting to see what happened. For me, it got easier for me to start to find the positives because I'd made that decision and I chose to do it. But in addition, the kids started to become more responsible. They started to figure out how to learn themselves, how to create their success themselves. They transferred their learning from one section to another. They were more involved in the rehearsal. Interestingly, it was one of the better rehearsals we had had in quite some time. And the kids noticed, they didn't know exactly what was happening, but they knew something was different. It was hard for me because it took a lot of thought to say what I needed to say without being negative in any way. And it might have taken more time for me to create those changes, but the changes that happened during that rehearsal stayed. I didn't have to reteach them as I so frequently had to before. It was an interesting situation for me. And it also showed me I had no idea I was in a rut of not using positive words. And this example of this day showed myself that I was not using positive words all the time. And maybe I was some of the time, I'm sure I was, but I wasn't doing it as much as I wanted because I wanted to do it pretty much all of the time. I wasn't using positive words about what was happening at my work. I wasn't using positive words about myself, my house, my relationship, my car, my life, my dog, my cat. You know, it was such a habit to look for what was wrong rather than what was right. And then to notice that my words are actually creating it. It was profound for me. The story of our lives is created by our words, the power of the words. We can be good, we can be bad. We can be positive, we can be negative. We can be a victim of life or a creator of life. When we say these words aloud, they're actually a stronger vibration. They're actually stronger and really do create what we say. Do you pay attention to the words you say? Do you pay attention to the story you tell yourself about your life? Is it even true, the story you say? Maybe it could be shifted into a more positive way. The words help create that powerful life, an empowered life, or a negative one. You can't always control your thoughts, but you can control what comes out of your mouth. You can control and be conscious and aware of what you want to speak and how you're going to speak it. It may take time and it may take patience. As I learned, it really can. But once you get going and you start doing it, paying attention, you'll start to notice more and more good things in your life. And because you're noticing them and acknowledging them, saying them aloud with your words, you will actually start to create an even better life than you have now. Your words are very powerful. They tell you the story of your life. Are your words creating the life you want to have, the life you deserve to have? And that is my coaching tip of the day. It's a very powerful one because it's simple but profound. People don't realize the effect their words have on their lives. But if you try it, even for an hour, you might be surprised at what you notice yourself saying. If you want to reach me, you can find me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden, and I always do love to hear from you. And we will now move on to our first caller, who is Patty in Philadelphia. Patty, how are you? Are we there, Patty? Okay, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Okay, so what I'll do, are you there? Okay, I can't hear Patty. So you know what, Patty? I'm going to give you a reading without hearing you. I hope you're still listening. Okay, very interesting. I have a gentleman who's coming in who wants to say hi to you. And he's telling me that, okay, he's telling me you've got somebody around you who's causing you a lot of grief. Now, it is interesting that I just said calling you some grief. So I wonder about that. Are you with me yet, Patty? Nope, can't hear you. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go back to this guy because as he's coming in, he's talking about how this man around you is causing you some grief. He gives me the impression this person is impatient and doesn't really know what's up. You know, he sounds like a very egotistical person to me, as somebody who really feels he knows best and would love to share it with you. And this man who comes in, when he comes in, he does feel on the taller side to me and the thinner side as well. He comes through with, I want to sit up a little bit stronger and I want to be a little bit taller. And when I touch in with him, he does come through with a bit of a paternal vibe. So he could be a grandfather, fatherly figure. And he's somebody who would take care of you. He tells me you're not speaking up as much as you need to be speaking up to this person. But it seems to be that this person doesn't really listen to you anyway. So it doesn't really help, okay, that even if you do speak up. He's talking about making sure you're as blunt as possible. He's also talking about you stepping aside and getting away from that person as much as possible. Because even though there is you do have a relationship, and I don't know that it's a romantic relationship or something like that, but there is a relationship between the two of you, that you still have to interact with this person, but to take a step aside as much as possible. This man is also mentioning a woman on the other side who is a bit older. Okay, as she comes through, she seems to be in her 70s, 74, 75. There is a relationship with this man on the other side and this woman as well. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to recognize her, but she feels she's very kind. And she's also on the shorter side, by the way. She feels very short to me. She's one who's more involved in the emotional aspects of helping people. But she's concerned about you, making sure that you are taking care of yourself and not allowing this other person to drag you down. Patty, are you there now? I want to see if anything I'm saying to you is accurate. Okay, not yet, I guess. Okay, what is the other thing we wanted to say? Okay. He's telling me He wants you to say hi to somebody. This is the man on the other side is telling me he wants you to say hi to somebody who is still here in the physical. Okay. This man, when he passes, I feel as though he passed on the quicker side. It was not a long drawn out affair. Okay. And it seems a little bit on a surprise. Okay. He is showing me flowers. Now, sometimes a medium will say, I see flowers, and that means, it's a birthday or something. For me, if I see flowers, I'm seeing flowers, and there's a reason for it. So either he very much liked his flowers or something like this. Patty, you there now?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay! How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Technology, it causes us to have some problems sometimes. Sometimes it's great, and other times I'm like, I don't know. Did you get a chance to hear anything I was saying to you by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So I'm going to try to repeat some of it. I won't repeat all of it because I don't want to bore anybody else listening. So you'll want to make sure you listen again, because what was happening is I was bringing in a gentleman from the other side. He seemed to be taller. I'm trying to remember, because once I say something, I don't remember anymore.
Right. Oh, I understand.
Okay. He seemed to be a little bit taller, and he came in on a very paternal vibe. So either a father, grandfather figure, that kind of thing.
Dad.
Okay, what he was talking about was he was giving me the impression that there's a man around you who is causing you some grief. And by that, I don't mean, sadness, grief. I mean grief that it's somebody who's, he's not listening to you. Do you have somebody around you that he's not listening to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Be my husband.
Oh dear, then, because, he also told me to give yourself as much space as possible. But he also did say you were in a relationship with him, but I wasn't sure what kind of relationship. So he did mention that too. So you'll want to go back and listen to some of that, in the replay that they do here at the show. But I'll go on and see what else he has to say, because he's saying that you need to be more blunt with what you say. You really just got to lay it out there. But he's not really hearing you. Does he just not listen to you?
Yeah, he doesn't listen. Everything I tell him, he does the opposite.
Okay. And there's a bit of, I don't want to make it sound like he's a jerk or anything, but there's a bit of ego here, that he knows what's best kind of feel, and doesn't really want to listen to you. And there's a bit of that, where I just kind of go, it's an odd feeling. But your father, when he's talking about this, he's really wanting you to put your foot down. He's really wanting you to say what you have to say, be very blunt with what you need to say, because he wants you, of course they always do, want you to be happy, but he wants you to take control of this situation as much as possible. There's something that. Also, too, a woman came in, too, as I was talking to him, and I'm wondering if it's his mother, actually, because she's a bit older. When she comes in, and she's more concerned with the emotional aspects of people, how they're feeling and all of that. There's a lot of that.
My grandma. Yes, that'd be her.
There's a lot of love that comes through, a lot of huggies. I feel very sweet with her, and I really like her energy. And she's basically just coming in mostly because she just wants to say hi to you. She's very happy to see you. Was somebody named after her in the family somewhere?
I named my daughter after her.
Okay, because there's a connection here with the name with her, and that she likes that, of course. It's just special to her. She knows that no one's going to forget her or anything like that, but just to have that feeling is really great. And then your father said something else. I'm going to try to backtrack on what this was. Your father said something else. Oh, right. I remember. He wanted to say hi to somebody here who's still here. Is your mom still on the physical here?
No.
Okay. So it feels like a female, and it feels like somebody he wants to say hi to. Obviously, he wants to say hi to you, but it feels like there's someone
Probably my daughter. It's probably my daughter.
Because there's a acknowledgement there of wanting to say hi to somebody. He does bring me the date of August 17th, and it feels to me that time, it feels like a transition time, like change is happening around that time. Now, I don't feel as though I'm predicting something for August 17th. I feel like something has already happened on August 17th at some point where there were some changes made. And so I don't know what had happened around then. He's not telling me that, but he does bring me that date. So I do want to get that out to you so that you can check on that and see what it is, because it's always fun to see what those things are. Okay. One more thing before I let you go. Do you write in a journal? Because I'm getting a lot of journal writing and a lot of writing the same things over and over again.
Yes.
Okay, because do you use it as an emotional release kind of thing?
Yes. That's what I was
That,
told to do before. So,
that was okay, and that would be why it's the same thing over and over again.
yes.
Yes, I read one of my journals once, and it was the same thing over and over. So it's a great release thing, but you got to use it to learn. That's what I learned. so,
Yep. Right.
so he does mention that, and he does mention the reading of it and the writing of it, and the paying attention to what's in there. He doesn't. Okay, he doesn't give me the impression your relationship is on the rocks or anything like that. Okay, he just gives me the impression we need to clear the air a little bit and get some of this communication to a different level and to do what you have to do to make it work. Do you understand what he's saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Okay, then I will let you go. So make sure you listen to the archive version. They get it up pretty quickly. So tomorrow they'll have it up. So you can hear the beginning in case I left something out and repeating it to you.
Okay. Can I ask you one quick question? My
Sure.
lights have been being turned off and on. Is that my brother doing that?
Was he the funny one?
Yes.
That liked to startle people as well, and
Yes.
practical jokes, and some of the practical jokes were that funny. Yeah. Yep, that's him.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. So when it happens, just say, "Hey, cut it out," or talk to him. You don't tell him to
That's
stop.
what I
if
do.
you
I
want.
say, Brian, it's not funny, and it'll stop.
Okay,
So,
perfect. You have got it
Okay.
down. That is exactly what you do.
Yep,
Perfect.
okay.
Yeah, he loved it. Well, thank you, Patty. It was
Mhm.
great talking to you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. And that was Patty from Philadelphia. And next, we're going to move on to Melissa from Syracuse, New York. Melissa, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am really well. Do you have something in particular you want to talk about tonight, or just a general reading?
I have one question, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ahara.
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
Well, it has to do with one of my dogs, and I was told by an animal Reiki practitioner who she deals with animals, and she's a holistic healer, that she is
Okay.
missing that piece, that it's gone, and I don't know how to get it back. I do Reiki myself as well, and I don't know how to get that back for her.
So what is the hara then? Is it a certain kind of energy or something?
It's like within, you know how the chakras, there's 7 main ones down the trunk and from the top.
Right.
That it's in the center, like down just below the navel. It's down in that area.
Okay. I'm going to have to look this up. Yeah, I've done healing work since about 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember somebody mentioning something, but I didn't ever really learn what it was, I guess. And did she tell you what it would do? I mean, what it's needed for?
That is why she's out of sorts. She is sort of kind of like out of control. She barks all the time. She doesn't calm down. She's got anxiety issues. When anybody gets up, she barks at them. When anybody's doing something, even if you're walking across the room, she jumps up and nips you. And it's sort of getting out of control, and I don't know how to. I do Reiki on her a lot, and I don't know what else to do for her.
Right. That's very odd. Okay, I'm going to touch in with the dog and see what I get. Okay, 2 things. I'm assuming you've taken her to the vet and checked for physical issues?
Oh, yeah, always.
Okay, I'm getting 2 things. So, 1, I'm getting the stomach area, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what it feels like to me is I'm wondering about the food. If the food is right for her, if there's an allergy or something, just the way it feels in my body, because I pick up on people's and dogs' feelings in my body, and I'm wondering about an allergy there. So I don't know what you feed the dog, but that may be something to investigate. The other thing I'm feeling energetically is I'm feeling a congestion up in the head area of energy. I'm feeling as though the head energy is bringing the energy's coming in, and I don't feel as though it's making it through the throat into the rest of the body, which I suppose would make sense if there might be a food allergy, because that might be
Okay.
blocked in here. So there seems to be a congestion here where it's not really coming into the throat, which isn't going into the rest of the body. Now, to move that, what I would do if it were a human client is I would start at the head and work around the head a lot, and then gradually come down to the front of my throat, and just kind of, it'd be like a stroking at the throat area, very gently, about 3-4 inches away, and just kind of intending for that energy to move through that area, because it feels as though there may be a block here. And I would do that, and then I would make sure I carry it all the way through, of course, for the rest of the body. So that seems to be what really feels right to me at this moment. That may very well have an effect on this horror you were talking about as it goes. Yeah. What do you think of this? Okay, we may have lost Melissa, but that's okay. I'm going to keep talking to her. I'm having fun talking to people who have a phone issue tonight. So when people and animals have something going on a little bit different in their bodies that doesn't work out, that just something seems off, sometimes it's an energy block in the body. So for all of you out there who may have something, oh, there you go. Everybody who has something like that, it's just a matter of moving it and getting it to flow through. I'm wondering about grains and stuff in the diet as well. I'm not a doctor, of course, nor a vet, so I don't know. But I'm wondering about the grains and what's in the food exactly. So you may want to do a little investigation on that. Okay, so I'm getting my little bit of warning, so I think I'm going to have to let you go. Good luck with that, and I'm gonna investigate that a little bit more and see what I can learn about that too. So thank you so much for calling, Melissa. So that was Melissa in Syracuse. Tonight, okay, we've talked about all sorts of fun things tonight. We've talked to spirit, we've talked about healing, we talked about the words, the power of your words, and what's your story. So pay attention. What are your words? I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. I would love to hear from you. You can connect with me on my website, psychicmediumcolleen.com, or on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden. I would love to hear what your words are, what your stories are, and what you've learned from tonight's show, because my point is to help you live your best life. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good night. Goodbye.